Look, I'm not the type to stir up trouble. My philosophy? Keep the peace, let folks do their thing. That is until Patricia, the iron-fisted queen of the Maple Grove Homeowners Association, decided my plan to save lives with a blood drive was a blatant assault on Article 9, Clause F of our neighborhood's sacred rule book something about unapproved communal assemblies involve VYing portable snacks. Snacks. We're talking apple juice and granola bars for people who just gave a pint of their blood to help others. But Patricia? Oh, she wasn't VYing it. With her oversized sun hat practically glued to her head, Leah VYing permanent worry lines etched across her brow, and her neurotic chihuahua, Tinkerbell, snarling at her heels like a tiny, rabid gremlin, she didn't see heroes. She saw rule breakers. It was a crisp Saturday morning in Maple Grove, the kind of day that screams community spirit sun shining, birds chirping. I've been planning the third attempt at our neighborhood blood drive, and I was ready. Patricia, of course, was already on patrol, stalking our quiet cul-de-sac like a hawk with a vendetta. I swear, she carried a pocket wind gauge to clock unauthorized breezes and a pair of opera glasses to spot infractions from a mile away. She'd already crushed my first two tries. The first was a cheerful setup in the community green, shut down by a pompous letter she'd typed herself on HOA letterhead, claiming my event risked lawn degradation and featured signs bigger than a salad plate. My posters, with their cute little blood drop mascots, were apparently an insult to her award-winning rose bushes. The second attempt, my so-called curb rebellion, was a stroke of genius. I set up a tent right on the sliver of public sidewalk next to my driveway, technically outside HOA turf. I'd hired Tony from Tony's Party Rentals, a guy who knew the art of dodging HOA nonsense. He even threw in extra stakes, chuckling, for when she tries to accidentally blast it with her garden hose. But Patricia didn't need waterworks. She whipped out a tattered city ordinance book she probably kept under her pillow and pointed out to a baffled city inspector that my tent's awning jutted 4.2 inches into a municipal setback. The glare from its fabric, she wailed, was traumatizing old Mrs. Carter's prized azaleas. Mrs. Carter later whispered to me those azaleas were fake. So there she was that Saturday, Patricia, strutting like she owned the whole suburb, Tinkerbell yapping in sync with her smugness. She spotted me by the curb, phone in hand, and her lips curled into a venomous grin. "Morning, da VYD," she called, loud enough to wake the plastic flamingos in Mrs. Carter's yard. "Finally GI VYing up on your little charity stunt? Smart move. The roses were looking wilted from all your unauthorized foot traffic." I took a slow sip of my coffee, letting the steam curl up like my patience was about to. "Not quite, Patricia," I said, keeping my tone sunny enough to make her twitch. "Just upgrading the setup. Gotta keep the donors comfy, you know." Her grin flickered. "Upgrading," she scoffed, clutching Tinkerbell like a shield. "Don't tell me you've rented one of those tacky party vans. They're banned under Resolution 12 Successive Noise and Moral Erosion." I just smiled wider. "Oh, it's a vehicle, Patricia. But party isn't the VYB." Right on cue, a low rumble echoed down the street, growing into a roar that shook the mailboxes. This wasn't just a vehicle. This was a statement. It all started a month ago in my messy garage, the air thick with summer heat. I was scrolling through my phone when a headline stopped me cold. "Blood shortages cripple local hospitals." It hit hard. Last year, my cousin Lisa nearly didn't make it through surgery because the hospital was low on her blood type. I looked at my pile of half-finished projects and thought, I can fix this. A blood drive and Maple Grove neighbors coming together, kids passing out snacks, the whole deal. Maple Grove sounds like a place for community, right? Wrong. I called the blood bank, got them on board, and picked a Saturday for the community green. I even made flyers with smiling blood drops that I thought were adorable. Patricia? She thought they were a crime against her rose's aesthetic. I was tacking one up by the pool when her voice sliced through the air like a paper cut. "The VYD, is that your doing?" Patricia stood there, sun hat casting a shadow like a vulture's wings, Tinkerbell trembling in her arms. "Hey, Patricia," I said, aiming for casual. "Just spreading the word about the blood drive. For the community, you know." Her eyes narrowed at my flyer like it was graffiti. A blood drive, she said, as if I'd propose a monster truck rally. Have your VYEU'd Article 15, Section B, Paragraph 4 about unsanctioned gatherings exceeding snack distribution limits? I blinked. It's juice and granola bars, Patricia. For people S.A. VYing lives. My charm bounced off her like a pebble off a tank. Lives matter, the VYD, she said, like she was doing me a favor by acknowledging it. But so do rules. And the sanctity of my roses, which took second place in the County Bloom Fest. She demanded an HOA Form 8C in triplicate and a floral impact report. I bit back a quip about her roses looking like dollar store silk and promised to comply. The next day, my inbox was a war zone PDFs from Patricia, each a highlighted chunk of HOA rules twisted to block a blood drive. Noise from blood bag machines? A problem. Pop-up tents? Unpermitted structures. The smell of granola bars? An olfactory nuisance. I tried to play nice, filling out her ridiculous form, which asked for things like anticipated donor cheer levels and a bandage disposal strategy. I called Greg, the HOA's timid secretary, who sighed like a man who'd lost his soul to Patricia's clipboard. She's citing lawn wear from do-gooder foot traffic and signs that might spook local sparrows, he said. Her committee has to approve, and, well, she is the committee. I hung up, fury bubbling. This wasn't about rules. This was Patricia flexing her suburban dictatorship. I met with Sarah, the blood bank coordinator, in the community green, where my dreams were wilting faster than Patricia's roses. She nixed the chair colors for not matching the HOA's approved palette, Sarah said, half laughing, half horrified. And she wants plain crackers instead of granola bars, says they're less DVY civ. Patricia watched us from her porch, snapping photos like a spy. I leaned into Sarah. Last year, she shut down my daughter's lemonade stand for unlicensed commerce. Measured the sugar content with a tiny cup. Sarah's jaw dropped. Crackers it is then, she said. No way, I muttered. We're not done. The first blood drive day arrived, a perfect Saturday. A few donors showed up, lured by my tiny, beige Patricia-proof signs. Sarah's team set up muted chairs and hid the granola bars. Then Patricia stormed in, phone to her ear, Tinkerbell tripping over her own paws. Officer, there's an illegal medical event in our Serenity Zone, she bellowed. Needles. Outsiders. A breach of our known neighbor's policy. Two cops rolled up Officer Thompson, a grizzled veteran who looked done with life, and Officer Lopez, barely hiding her smirk. Ma'am, you called about a blood drive? Thompson asked. Patricia jabbed a finger at our setup. No permit for reclining chairs under Article 22, and that cooler isn't raccoon-proofed per county law. I stepped in, handing over our city permits. It's all legit, officers. Lopez scanned them, stifling a laugh. No raccoons here, ma'am. Permits check out. But Patricia went nuclear. This is HOA land, she shrieked, her face a VY Olin shade of fuchsia. I'm revoking their right to exist here. Thompson sighed. Son, she's got the HOA card. You're on their turf. Pack it up or to CIVYL mess. The donors slumped. Sarah looked ready to snap. I shot Patricia a glare that could have melted steel. She smirked VY-torious. Game on. I retreated to my driveway, staring at the public street. She ruled the grass, but not the asphalt. I called Tony's Party Rentals. Tony, it's the VYD. I need a tent on the exact edge of my property, hugging the public curb. Sturdy enough to serve VYVE, Patricia's death stare. Tony laughed, a gravelly roar. HOA drama? I'm in. You want the Defiant Deluxe? Extra stakes for her accidental hose attacks. The next Saturday, Tony's crew set up a tent like it was a military op, right on the line. It was perfect. Patricia appeared instantly, tape measure in hand, Tinkerbell snarling. She measured every inch, consulted her dog-eared ordnance book, and then jackpot. Your awning's 4.2 inches over the city easement, she crowed, and its shine is stressing Mrs. Carter's azaleas. She summoned a city inspector, Carla, who looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. Technically, Carla sighed, it's over by a hair. Take it down. Patricia did a VY Tory jig. Tinkerbell tried to spin and nearly face-planted. That's when I snapped not loudly, but with a cold, calculated fire. If I couldn't bring donors to the blood drive, I'd bring the blood drive to them. Back to that Saturday morning. Patricia's gloating, I'm sipping coffee, and the rumble becomes a beast. The Lifeblood Titan rolls in a 40-foot, red and white mobile blood bank, screaming donate blood, save lives, in letters you could read from Mars. I'd spent days sweet-talking a city councilwoman, leveraging my old soccer coaching days with her son and the tale of Mrs. Carter's distressed fake azaleas. The driver, a woman who looked like she could bench press a moose, parked it legally on the public street, right across from Patricia's pristine lawn. Its shadow swallowed her roses. Patricia's jaw hit the pavement. Her opera glasses crashed. Tinkerbell let out a supersonic yowl and dove under her skirt. Her face went from smug to ghost white to a pulsing, furious plume of color I didn't know humans could turn. The Titan's side slid open, revealing cozy donation chairs in neutral tones, naturally, and a grinning nurse. Blood drive's open, she called. First 10 donors get a Lifeblood Hero tea and a granola Barnata cracker. Patricia found her voice. VYD, she screeched, tripping over her glasses. This atrocity. It's ruining our neighborhood's VYB. I sipped my coffee, savoring the moment. It's a city-approved medical unit, Patricia. All legal, no lawn damage, no azalea tears. She fumbled her phone. I'm calling the cops. The mayor. The Historic Sidewalk Society. Sure enough, Thompson and Lopez arrived. Thompson looked like he'd aged a decade. Lopez was coughing to hide her laughter. Another issue, ma'am? Thompson asked. Patricia flailed. Its engine's messing with the planet's core. My V-Vintage teacups are shaking. She waved a compass that stubbornly pointed north. Lopez stepped away, shoulders shaking. Thompson eyed the Titan, the happy donors, me. It's legal, ma'am. Unless it's selling black market jam or cracking the Earth's crust, we're done here. Patricia sputtered, speechless a miracle. With a final wail, she grabbed Tinkerbell and stormed inside, her door slamming so hard it rattled every mailbox. The day was magic. Neighbors poured out, donating blood, shaking my hand, laughing over Patricia's meltdown. Mark from down the street high-fived me. The VYD, you legend. My wife, Jenna, was gutted when Patricia killed your first try. She's donating now, says it's her best pint ever, just to spite her. Even Mrs. Carter hobbled over. Good job, kid. She once fined me for my gnome's offensive hat color. Keep it up. A news van showed up Sarah's doing. I bet filming a segment about one man's epic fight for community good. Patricia peeked from her curtains, saw the camera, and vanished like it was holy water. The turnout was unreal. Sarah hugged me, laughing. The VYD, you're a hurricane. We doubled our goal. You've made Spite a public Sarah VYC. As the Titan rolled out, neighbors clapped like it was a parade. Days later, Maple Grove settled down. I was mowing my lawn, half expecting Patricia to critique my blade height. She was out, VY siously pruning her roses, glaring but silent. The HOA meetings, Greg whispered, were now about community dialogue instead of a rulebook. The Titan takedown was Legend Kids asked if it had returned for Halloween candy. I got a thank you card from the hospital and a city letter praising my bold CI VYC action. It's framed next to a Titan photo. The real win? Knowing when someone like Patricia says no, you just need a bigger, louder, fully legal yes. I'm already plotting next year maybe a mobile vet clinic parked by her roses for the neighborhood's harmony, of course. So what do you think? Was I too petty, or did Patricia deserve the Titan-sized smackdown? Should HOAs have this much power, or is it time to rewrite the rulebooks? And how far would you go to fight a control freak for a good cause? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're team to VYD, and subscribe for more stories of suburban rebellion. Let's hear it.